All right, thank you. Well, good evening. Welcome everyone to our August 26, 2025 regular meeting of the Waynesboro Area School District Board of Directors meeting. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are 1 week into the new school year, so welcome everyone. I should have done math beforehand. I don't know how many weeks are left, but we're 1 week in. Ms. Hennikel, if you could do roll call for us, please.
Dr. Royer? Here. Mr. Hamburger?
Here.
Mrs. Miles?
Here.
Mrs. Zimmerman?
Here.
Mr. Pence?
Here.
Mrs. Straight?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Fortney?
Here.
Mr. Marvin?
Here. Thank you very much. Up next, we have the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a first and a second. Dr. Sternheim, any adjustments to the agenda this evening?
No.
All righty. Thank you very much. No adjustments to the agenda this evening, so we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Ms. Hennikel, I think you might need to record Ms. Streit's until we get her computer up.
No.
Up next, we have the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. This was August 12th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve our last minutes?
Approve.
I have a first and a second between Ms. Zimmerman and Ms. Straight. Any corrections from last meeting? Seeing none. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain for me because I wasn't here.
All right, Ms. Miles is abstaining. That'll bring us to our superintendent report. Dr. Sternheim.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. So from all accounts, it does appear that we are off to a great start. WASD, Dr. McCallum and I were both able to visit all the buildings the very first day and then followed up with another visit the following day. Very impressed with all the summer cleaning and maintenance and technology upgrades. The classroom setups were absolutely and very, very impressive. And we saw lots of smiling faces. So we're off to a great year. Special education department is gearing up for the special education audit this year. Our varsity football team did beat Greencastle on Friday night, and as a follow-up, Mayor Royer and Mayor Thomas had a friendly competition on this game. So Mayor Thomas from Greencastle will be wearing a Waynesboro Indian sweatshirt at his next council meeting.
Good for him.
Yeah, so and we just received word that the Wayback Foundation as well as WASD received a $3,500 grant from the Foundation of Enhancing Communities for the Downtown Story Walk collaboration featuring a local artist by the name of Seth Holmes. So I'm very excited about that. So
All right.
thank you for all the preparations for the new school year.
Thank you, Dr. Sternheim. Ms. Hennikel, any public comment this evening?
I did not receive it.
Okay, no public comment this evening. So we will be moving. We have one presentation this evening from Mr. Keith McCrae. So Mr. McCrae, if you could come up to the podium, please.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me. Mr. Marvin, I'm going to put you on the big hook duty again if I start to
That's
ramble on
fine.
like I did up in Chambersburg. So I'm here today just to speak to you a little bit about AI, those two letters that I'm sure not a lot of you guys have heard about. I mean, it hasn't been in the news at all. And how it is impacting our businesses as well as the impact it's going to have on education. So the quote that I always like to, next please. I don't have a thing. The quote that I like to open these up with is that it's human nature when technology renders previously important skills obsolete. We feel offended. And if you look at those images there, that top row, lamplighters used to be a staple of our society. I am friends with someone that actually remembers when a milkman used to deliver milk to his house in the early 80s in Lancaster. I blew my mind to hear that. And the assembly line workers. Technology came along and rendered those jobs obsolete. But in the place, new jobs were created. We have the electrical engineers, grocery store clerks, as well as the mechanical engineers that are now responsible for fixing those machines that are working on those assembly lines. Thank you. And we're starting to see how AI is starting to make those impacts in today's workforce as well. I don't know if anybody has been up to the Giant Center or Hershey Park recently, but that image in the top left, that is their concession stand checkout. They no longer have somebody there ringing you up or entering anything into a cash register. What you get is put on that mat, a camera takes a picture of it, and a form of AI identifies what's on there and tells you how much you need to pay. The only person that's standing in those concession stand lines anymore is there to take the cap off of your beverage so that you don't have anything to throw onto the ice. Over top to the right, that is Roofy the roofing robot. I wish I was joking about that name, but that's really what they came up with. So even the trades are starting to see an encroachment of artificial intelligence. That robot is anchored to the four sides of any pitched roof, and using a camera, it identifies where the shingles need to be laid, lays them, and nails them down. So what used to take guys working in dangerous conditions in the summertime and risk of injury and falling now is replaced by that machine with one individual on the ground holding an iPad, making sure that it's doing what it needs to do. Directly under that, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia has an entranceway. You don't have to slow down for security anymore. You buy your ticket, you take your picture on your phone, and as you walk in, the camera identifies and matches you to your ticket, and you just continue to walk on through. You don't need to stop anymore. The bottom left, this one is kind of near and dear to my heart a little bit with, that is the Da Vinci machine. I did get permission from my wife to share this story, but she had a hysterectomy last summer. And while they were doing the surgery on her, that machine had a form of machine learning infused into it, and it was able to identify other areas of concern that the doctor wasn't even aware of while they were doing it. And just, I want to say it's about 2 months ago now in the Cleveland Mayo Clinic, they had one of those machines doing an entire gallbladder removal without any human assistance. Now, there still has to be a human in the room because God forbid something goes wrong in an area other than the gallbladder, that machine's not going to be able to fix it. However, we are starting to lean towards fully automated surgeries. It is a scary, exciting time is how I like to put it. So how does that affect us? Well, this is the scariest statistic I think I have ever seen. Where is Gen Z getting their information about AI from? Social media. If you have spent more than 5 minutes on any social media platform, you know that's a dumpster fire. An entertaining dumpster fire, but a dumpster fire nonetheless. And only 15% is coming from educators, 12% from employers. We need to change that. AI has the potential to do some amazing things, but it also has potential to do some horrific things. So we as educators need to be on the forefront of that and helping our students learn how to use this responsibly and ethically as they're making their way through their time here in Waynesboro with us. We have vetted several platforms. Right now, the big ones, these are the 4 big ones in education. School AI, the top left, we've actually partnered with them. This is an amazing platform that provides student-facing AI interaction for our students. Teachers have the guardrails that they can put in place so that it cannot do anything that it shouldn't do, and it can only do what it's told it can do. My poor daughter's in 7th grade. She is my guinea pig for all of this. So when School AI first came out, she was working on origin myths in 6th grade. So I created a space to try to help her write that paper, gave it to her, said, here, see how this works. Her being my daughter said, write the paper for me. And it did. Well, that's a problem. So I took it back and I was able to actually rework the prompt to not write the paper for the student, rather provide guiding questions to help them write it on their own. Gave it back to her. She tried to do the same thing again, but this time it said, I can't do that. However, here are some elements that are popular in origin myths. Which one do you like the most? And then it started step by step walking her through it. We had a very positive case in our high school where students were reading the Canterbury Tales and some of the students were having trouble making that connection between how society was and when the book was written and society now. And anybody that spent any time in the classroom, you know, after a little while, your teacher starts to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher to you. So we created a space, entered the Canterbury Tales into it as a resource. And within 10 minutes, the student discussing back and forth with this AI bot looks and says, oh, so they use questionable means to influence society and norms, a lot like Apple and Google does today. And I looked at the teacher, I'm like, I'm done. I can't add anything to that. That was amazing. Gemini, right next to it, that is Google's large language model. It basically is a catch-all. You write your prompts and it can help you do multitude of things, whether it is lesson planning, making things relevant, bouncing ideas off of it. They've actually gone so far. I was sharing with Mr. Erickson today. It can actually write code and we can create matching games for capital and lowercase letters for our kindergartners with just simple, this is what I want, and it does it. Magic School up there is much better for the teacher facing front, where if you need lesson plan ideas, you need rubrics or things like that, Magic School is where a lot of our teachers have found themselves going. And Microsoft Copilot is basically just Google or Microsoft's version of Gemini. And I don't know if you remember last year, Microsoft actually just signed a 20-year lease with 3 Mile Island. They are going to reactivate Reactor 1 because nothing bad ever happens from nuclear powered AI in the movies. So in order to make sure that we are using these tools to their most positive forms with our students, we have our AI policy in place. And Mr. Knoll from WASH has actually created a really good infographic where this is displayed in all the classrooms, even as far down as kindergarten, where the teachers are able to point out what level of AI use with their assignments is acceptable. Whether it's none, this is completely solely you, to brainstorming and generating ideas, help editing. I am absolutely horrible at writing. My wife says I have a love-hate relationship with commas. They're either too many or they're none at all. So that would help with that. The specified task completion. So we did getting to know you with School AI, and the specified task completion was they created a AI generated image of a Stanley Cup that had stickers representing what they were interested in. And the best part about that was some got the Stanley drinking cup, and AI makes mistakes. Some of them got the Stanley Cup from the NHL. So that was neat. All the way down to, and that's the full AI use with human oversight. This is a very interesting form of technology where if we leverage it correctly, it's actually going to increase the time our teachers get to spend face-to-face dealing with this, actually talking to and building relationships with students. So the last slide up here, this is normally the front one that I lead things off with. That stuff on the left, I like to call my expensive wallpaper. My wife hasn't realized that if she leaves me unsupervised for a week, I end up enrolled in yet another program. It's the pictures that I really would like to draw your attention to. As I said, my daughter's in 7th grade. She's not going to remember a time when AI was not part of her life. My son is going into 11th grade. He may have a vague recollection, but that's all it's going to be as a memory. These are our what. whether they're ours or just walking through our classroom doors. They're the reason why we do what we do. And getting them ready for this AI infused future is a huge undertaking for us, but it's one that needs to be done. Because again, if we lead it, it can create amazing things. But if we try to bury our heads in the sand and back away from it, it's going to create some really horrific things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCray.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of sitting in and hearing Mr. McCray's presentation as well as one from one of the employees up in Chambersburg, and I'm encouraged by the fact that we have Mr. McCray and at Chambersburg has this other I believe his name was Jonathan as well. We have these people in our schools thinking about things such as this, and I appreciate how do we ethically and wisely teach our students how to use this tool. So thank you, Mr. McCray, and we appreciate all that you do for our district in this field.
Can we bother him with a couple questions?
Mr. McCray, can we bother you with a couple of questions?
Obviously, AI is a disruptive technology, and we're all going to have to adapt to it. But the thing that concerns me about using AI as a source is, you know, when I started to learn computers, first thing I learned was garbage in, garbage out.
Mm-hmm.
How do we determine that the AI sources they are using are providing the students with accurate information and not biased or just inaccurate data?
Let's say AI bias is a huge problem. And it's because basically who's programming it typically determines what it's going to output. The sources, the platforms and resources that we are focusing on here in Waynesboro provide the teacher the opportunity to upload resources to it. So that's the only place it's pulling those resources from. So our teachers have the opportunity to set those guardrails of, this is where I know it's coming from, and I know that's going to be accurate. One of the fun things to do with this, though, is to actually tell it to create garbage and then have the students try to identify it and then prove it wrong and do the research and really enhance that critical thinking part.
Great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got one.
Yes, ma'am.
The Giant Center and the other stadium and
Yes.
how they're going all high tech and even in a lot of our stores. Are there still places where somebody in their 70s and 80s can go in my parents are gone now, but if this would have been here 10, 15 years ago, they wouldn't have been able to do that. And
You are correct.
you know, my
There-
dad went to the farm show and the Pennsylvania horse show up at the farm show arena. And I mean, he would not be able to do that. Are there still provisions made for people who can't?
My assumption would be that lady that was taking the caps off of the beverages would have also been there to, would have been there to answer questions.
Okay.
Don't get rid of 13-year-old.
Okay, yeah, that's my concern with a lot of this. You go into the hospital and nobody helps you anymore. You have to go over to that kiosk and
Mhm.
do it yourself. and, you
Well,
know,
and that's too, if you think about, these devices here,
right,
nobody taught us how to use them. They were just kind of given to us and we
Yeah.
had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we're trying to get our kiddos ready for, that future where we're not just handing people devices. We're gonna have those people there that are able to explain to them
Yeah.
what they're doing.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. McCray. Alrighty, let's go ahead. I don't know if we've had any meetings since our last one, but we'll go ahead and just go around just to double check on our board reports. So anything from academic committee, Dr. Royer?
No,
Okay.
our next meeting is, I believe, without looking, November 11th.
Okay,
September, we got one in September, don't we?
September 9th. Nope, September,
Change that date in November. The next one's September 9th.
okay.
September 9th at 10:30.
okay. Budget and facilities have not met. They will be meeting the third Tuesday of the month, so the next one will be in September. And that'll be Tuesday, September 16th at 5:30. And then policy, Mr. Pence, anything from policy?
Policy didn't meet in August. We meet September 25th to 4 p.m.
Alrighty, so our second meeting in September is gonna be full of information. We'll go from there. And if you guys will bear with me as I walk across the. Try not to trip. So. The Pennsylvania School Boards Association is kind of the overarching PA group that helps local school boards as they seek to serve their community. And so PSBA is the honor roll of the School Board Service Program, proudly celebrates school board directors for their longstanding dedication and service to their districts and communities. And so it is my privilege and honor to present this certificate to Ms. Kim Miles for 5 years of service on the Waynesboro Area School District Board of Directors. So, yeah. Alrighty, thank you very much.
You already got.
Awkwardly transition back to
Yeah.
Alrighty. And thank you for your years of service, Ms. Miles. That'll bring us then on to our business items for this evening. So we will start with personnel. Dr. McCallum.
Thank you. So this evening we have resignations of support staff and professional staff, reassignment of support staff, change in hours, title, and or step for a few different professional and support staff members. We have appointments of support staff and substitute support staff, appointments for game personnel, an approval of professional staff, Mrs. Elizabeth Baumgartner, who will be our K-6 gifted teacher serving the elementary schools as well as 6th grade at the middle school. And then finally, 3 requests for leave, and we are requesting approval of the personnel as listed.
Thank you. We did have a executive session before our meeting this evening to discuss personnel. So I will ask, is there a motion to approve the personnel as listed?
So moved.
There's second.
Second.
All right, we have a second. We typically do not discuss personnel items during our public session, but if anyone has further discussion, we can move into an executive session here as well. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Next, we have our LPN nurse contract.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. So the recommendation is to approve the LPN contract to support an individual student based on their needs as outlined within the administrative as well as the executive content.
All righty, thank you. So I will ask for a motion to approve the LPN contract to support individual student needs. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
We have a second. As this is one of those things we work with a student in their IEP. I'm not sure how much there is to discuss, but I do just want to leave it open.
Will this be the same LPN every day or is this company? Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is a student that we had an understanding was coming. It's a kindergartner. But at any rate, we had looked at options to fulfill the responsibility within our own district. So at this point, we are contracting out with an agency. Dr. Holtzman, please clarify. In some cases, some of this could be medical access billing.
Correct. Yep.
So, I mean, it is our responsibility as a school district, and so it will be a consistent individual from this particular agency. And I
Okay.
want to applaud Mrs. McDonald and Mrs. Richards for like essentially locating someone in a relatively short period of time. So
How many agencies were looked at?
I'd have to double check. I know that I can get that information to you. So that would be a good question in terms of whether or not it'd be something that we would ever have to bid. But I think that unfortunately, this is a need that's pretty pronounced in our area and there's not a whole lot of options. I was hopeful we could find someone internally for the consistency, but yeah, I can follow up on that. Tammy's on the call, but I don't know. I'll follow up. Thank you for that question.
Yeah, I can't answer that either.
All right.
I apologize.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Richards.
We pick this or does the family or how does?
We do. Mhm. In collaboration with the family. And I mean, I'll be completely honest, we could be approving this and it may or may not work out. We may have to look for another, like, they are also struggling with staffing as well.
Well, sorry.
That's okay.
Is that as needed basis or is it like
It's every day.
7
Day.
hours a day for them?
Yeah. So ultimately, our students, there are other students that, the district may be, utilizing services very similar. They may not be here. They may be at the Franklin Learning Center. So this is a new student, so we're going to try to provide the best possible foundation for the child, to allow them to be successful.
Is this a contract to serve one child?
Yes, sir.
And she's gonna be at Mallory, is that what this says?
Let's be mindful, we don't
Yeah.
want to give specific duty
Right.
student details, but we can't talk generally about what we're providing.
Okay.
So if there's general questions about the contract or about services school districts are obligated to give students, we can ask those, but
And we are mandated to do that?
Yes, sir.
Right.
So ultimately, we have other students that do have nurses within the district currently. They may not be full-time. They're oftentimes, families are electing, to have the nurse present and providing, the payment through medical access or another form of insurance. So, we as a school team have to make a determination, and in this particular case, it was essential to have an individual contracted to help service this child.
And this is at our cost. This is at taxpayers' cost.
That is correct, sir.
The goal to have it internal at some point?
Like I said, I would prefer that, but we are currently, I think, seeking 2 LPNs. So if you guys know anybody? I did try to recruit, she is a substitute LPN. She's been outstanding because she's our LPN that goes on all the field trips as well as the band trips and, but she's trying to tell me it's about time that she gets an opportunity to retire. So we're working through that, but,
No nights, no holidays. no-
yeah.
anything about the contract?
Gotta do it, you gotta do it.
Okay, we will move forward with a vote then. All those in favor of approving the LPN contract to support individual student needs, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carries. Let us move forward then for the AP Government Online Platform Pilot.
So at the end of last school year, Dr. Kopko and I had proposed and the academic committee approved a pilot to offer AP government. Dr. Kopko utilized PBOS and other data sources to identify 23 students that are members of the class of 2029 who would potentially be good candidates to take this class. It is one that AP recommends for younger students. It's not necessarily intended for seniors. So as Mr. Null, Dr. Kopko, and the teacher of the class are working through that, kind of discovered late in the summer that we were going to need a textbook because of the requirements of AP. So Mr. Null and the teacher worked through some colleagues that they knew in other districts, and as well as the list of textbooks that are recommended by advanced placement, and are ultimately came back to me with 2. One of them, the company was willing to offer us for free for the year. So that is the one, that was actually the one that the teacher preferred to use anyway, so that worked out. So requesting an MOU with Achieve/BFW Publishers, and that will give the students online access to a textbook for the school year, with the understanding that should we come back to the academic committee in the spring and want to continue this, moving forward, it would no longer be a pilot. We would need to make a purchase.
Right, so I will ask, is there a motion to approve the MOU with Achieve/BFW Publishers for an AP Government Pilot at Washes?
Just a clarification, this is a digital book, it's
Correct.
not an analog book.
Correct. It is a digital copy.
All right.
We have a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
A first and a second. Any additional questions or discussion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote then. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Up next, we have a transfer fund balance from committed to unassigned. Dr. Holton?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we have an old pre-2013 retirement incentive. It was locked in place. This was a specific district retirement incentive that was out there for quite a while, but then we stopped that in 2013. It had to be negotiated through collective bargaining. But what we do is we actually have funds that are committed for this. And then as we spend them down, we like to just basically go ahead and transfer that liability back to unassigned. So there's really no cash moving back and forth. We've already spent that money because they earned it. And as those individuals retire, we go ahead and pay them out. And basically, this is just, I guess, really an elaborate way to say we want to correct the books to show that we have the proper amount in there committed and then put the rest back into unassigned.
So it's simply an accounting.
It truly is just an accounting error, but because it was committed funds by the district, we have to have the board approve moving that transfer over to unassigned.
I'll ask for a motion first. So this is a motion to approve the transfer of $100,046 from the committed fund balance to the unassigned fund balance pursuant to the pre-2013 retirement incentive. Is there a motion?
Second.
We have a first and a second. So Dr. Holzman, this is just essentially we're rebalancing and we're just moving for the accounting of
Right.
funds we've already spent out of the committed and reassigning it there.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
It really and truly is just an accounting entry. Money's not really going to move hands. It's really just approval from the board to do this so that it can reflect correctly in our financial statements.
Beth Ann can say we're following the
Correct.
law.
That's correct. Yeah. And then we still have about $174,000, $175,000 left in that fund then. So as people retire or if they resign, then those funds stay back with the district. So they actually truly have to retire through the PSER system.
Any other questions for Dr. Holtzman? So we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the transfer, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
That will then bring us to item 5, which is the budgeted pre-K grant and program.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. So earlier this school year, actually earlier this summer, I should clarify, we were approached by First Start Partnerships about the possibility of essentially fronting some money for us to be able to launch our pre-K programs here in Waynesboro. I responded the first 2 emails with a no, only because we recognize that we don't even have the state budget funding at this point. So ultimately, we're still hopeful that, the budget will come through. I did receive a letter of assurance from pre-K accounts indicating that the funds have been designated. And so what we're at a situation now where we have 119 learners and 18 staff members that are impacted by this. Again, it is not the Waynesboro Area School District's responsibility. It is a state budget responsibility to be able to fund this. So based on the chart that Dr. Holtzman helped create, we're looking at the responsibility of 1/12 of the funding, but we also recognize or have to understand that there's still a portion of the funding that was not reimbursed from last year as well. So this is not, again, coming from First Start Partnerships, but this is essentially reflective of our state budget. Dr. Holtzman is indicating at this point that we're in a better financial situation than we were maybe 2 emails ago. And so I would like to make the recommendation that the board would approve essentially the pre-funding of a program that we will be reimbursed for from a grant perspective for 119 learners and 18 staff. It's my understanding that if we would move forward, the staff would begin like September 2nd, and then our learners would begin on the 15th. This also impacts the early learning, early Learning Center as well, because there's 2 classrooms there and there's also 5 at Washes. Dr. Holtzman, do you want to elaborate at all, or is there anything else
I
you'd
do
like
not-
to add?
You brought up a good point. Certainly when this was first requested by the district, it was very early in our fiscal year. We did not really have those funds coming in for property taxes that we do. Where we are lucky though, about a month into that, our tax collectors were very responsive to our request to go ahead and move those funds back into us as they received them. So that has helped significantly. We are lucky that we're one of the districts that send out tax bills on July 1st. I know people would have different perspectives on the term lucky, but we are certainly in a better position because we do send them out on July 1st. Some districts send them out August 1st, and of course that would put everything back behind an additional month. So from a cash flow perspective, we do not have to exercise CD and lose interest income from those CDs that we have out there at this point.
I will ask for a motion and we can have further discussion after that. So I will read the full thing and then ask for a motion. So motion to approve funding the pre-K sub-grant recipients for the 25-26 school year until the state budget is passed. Funding to follow the district's approved 25-26 budget. So is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
All right, any further discussion or questions on this item?
Yeah, let me play devil's advocate here. We go ahead and front. Pick a number, $200,000. State doesn't come through. What happens?
Ultimately, if that really were to happen, it could be a potential risk for us, certainly. Yeah, it certainly could be. Again, we pretty comfortable. Dr. Sternheim mentioned that we do have the guarantee that it's actually out there, pre-approved in the grant system. I feel a little bit better knowing, in fact, I was talking to the Pasco legislative advocate this morning, both the House version and the Senate version, which are different versions, certainly, of the budget. Both of them actually have these funds in there. At a bare minimum, they have the same amount as last year, which is what we budgeted. The other version, the House version, has even more funds, but that's not what we're asking for. So the good news is despite the differences from a state perspective, both parties are in agreement that this is in their budget. So
It makes sense, but being cynical, we are relying on
right.
political promises.
My understanding from your presentation that you were gonna present, I think, was that these students, if they do not start now, then they will not be making up any time at the end of the year.
I think there's limited time, right? Because they obviously can't go past, I don't know the exact date. It's not June 30th. I think it's prior to June 30th, but I can't really state what that date is, but you're correct. That from an educational perspective, you can only delay the start of a school year so long.
Right. So it's not as though that they have to put 180 days in like our
I
student.
think
We're not.
Or they still have to put 180 days in.
Right. But I think they can still meet their deadlines. But if this were delayed another month or two, then I think that would certainly be a significant risk.
So we calculated this afternoon, if we start, if the kids start, or if the program starts September 2nd, if the kids start September 15th, the number of days that we're losing, I think they would end up by the second end of June. But there's also some professional development days in the pre-K calendar that I believe that we can designate as student days. Even though the district is off, we can still have pre-K. So again, I think, WELC wants to be in line with the district. So, we can talk to Erica and see what she wants to do about that. But my question is this, so what does this account to, this 112? I mean, have you thought about, like, is that 30 days of school that you're giving us money for?
I guess if you think about that, it gives you another month, certainly a reprieve for another month to see what's going on at that point.
Okay.
From a state budget perspective.
Okay, and I don't really want to say this, but given what Mr. Hamburger said, so this motion to me, does this obligate us for the school year? The way this motion is worded?
Potentially, the way it's worded right now, yes, ma'am.
Maybe we want to amend it.
Yeah.
We would front 30 days worth and then revisit it each month.
Or the 1/12, whatever, yeah, the
Yeah.
1/12. And
Sure.
yeah,
But you're correct. The way it's worded right now would be that we would obligate it until such time as the
yes, I
budget is
think that
passed.
would probably be a good idea.
Since the state aren't being grown ups, someone has to be.
Well, again, I think it's worst case scenario, but I think it would be not fiscally responsible to think that, a
Absolutely.
crisis could happen.
Absolutely.
This is Pennsylvania.
To make sure that we are in order, Mr. Hamburger, you are the maker of the motion. Is there any, is there an amendment that you would like to propose?
I would amend my, this front 1/12 and then revisit it as needed.
All right, can we pause on there before I ask Mr. Smith, if he wants to second that? Dr. Holtzman,
Yes.
one of the things is, as we were talking about 1/12, is my understanding, based on all of our conversations, that the state has also not paid the last payment of last fiscal year.
Right.
So I just want to clarify before we finalize Mr. Hamburger's amendment. Are we asking for 1/12 or are we asking for 1/12 plus last year's final payment?
That would probably be at least my recommendation coming back, is to go ahead and catch up from last year as well as 1/12 from this year. Again, those,
Folks have any reserve funds?
not that much my understanding. I think, in fact, if I had to guess, probably the organizations are looking at other options if they exist.
All right, well, what the
Those ones,
president
but-
said.
All right, so Ms. Hamburger, I just want to make sure so if this could be a friendly amendment. If you want to get into Robert's Rules and Polity afterwards, I'm here all night. If we could amend it, then the motion to approve the funding, the pre-K sub-grant recipients for the 25-26 school year, 1/12, and include the remaining 24-25
Hold on.
budget. Right, we'll make sure we're all there.
Well, what was it?
1/12 of the 25-26.
1/12 of the 20.
And include the remainder of the 24-25 fiscal year. So before I ask Mr. Smith to second that again, I just want to make sure, is everyone clear on what this amendment is? And before we go to a vote, I will also reiterate. So, Mr. Hamburger, does that drive with you?
Works for me.
Mr. Smith?
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. So just to make sure we're clear, I'll give option for more discussion, but just make sure we're clear on what the motion is before us. We are only doing 1/12 of the current fiscal year. And we are catching up at the end of what was missing or delayed from last year fiscal year. Okay, so essentially we're doing two payments. We're helping them catch up what the state didn't do at the end of last year. Plus, we are doing 1/12 of what is moving forward. So I just want to make sure everyone's clear about what's before us. Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
This
So we see the total for what's needed now. What about the total for the,
That's the.
So I think that 208
Eight.
includes
It's
both.
total.
Correct.
that's the
That
total for
does.
both,
That
okay.
includes
Yeah,
both.
so that includes last year and the 1/12 of this year. Mrs. Zimmerman?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, our state legislature has put us in this position. Our budget had to be done by June 30th. Meanwhile, it's 2 months late. And, you know, so anyway, I'm just really, really disappointed in our legislature that they are putting school districts in this particular position. And I believe in this program. This pre-K counts has been extremely successful. So I don't want to, you know, punish those kids and those families by not supporting this program. But I am very disappointed in our legislature. Just wanted to let everybody know that.
I think the other thing too is in addition to the families and the students is the staff.
Yes.
First Start Partnerships, laid off 10 staff members. And the teachers were told to get unemployment. So just from a teacher perspective, that would be a devastating statement to hear. And having spoken to one of the new teachers at the program, we are lucky at WELC, we didn't have to do that. But for those teachers, to hear that, that's really discerning. Even though you think it's gonna come through, there's still a new teacher counting on a paycheck and told to go get unemployment. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, the rent comes due no matter what.
Any other questions? So before I move to a vote, what we're doing now, we're due end of last year, 112. If the state budget still isn't passed, we're gonna bring this back in the month of September. Okay, so just based on what it is, with, Dr. Rohr's input and Mr. Hamburger's thoughts, this is not gonna be until the state budget is passed. This is gonna be incremental then that we will revisit this.
Hopefully we don't have to.
Hopefully, we don't have to.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not holding my breath.
yeah. Any other questions or discussion before we move to a vote? Senator, I knew I threw you a couple curveballs.
I just wanted to, do you want me to read what I have typed in here?
That
Because
would
it's
be
not
great.
coming up on the screen.
Yeah, why don't we read what we have?
Motion to approve funding of pre-K sub-grant recipients for the 25-26 school year, 1/12 of the 25-26 school year, and include the remainder of the 25-26 school year.
24-25 school year.
That is correct.
All right, perfect. Everyone okay if we move to a vote? All right. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yep.
Any opposed?
Hey,
Any abstention?
And I have to abstain because my daughter's one of those 18 staff members.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. We will move forward then with the interim agreement for PASBO for business office services.
Yes, sir. And I apologize. We thought that, this Truax services, which have been significantly appreciated, would be over with. The unfortunate part is we had some delays. If you remember, we hired a person for a position. Unfortunately, that did not come to fruition. That really put us back behind again to go back out to interview again, to go down through the hiring process. It put us back behind a little bit in our accounts payable side. That person was then who left, went to another position, which has put her behind in the district as well there. So what we're asking is for one final extension to September 30th, and then that's it. And both parties are happy with that date in terms of, I know Ms. Truax does not want to work any longer at this point. She has been a godsend to help us out. I did look back on the last 4 billing cycles. It's a 15-day billing cycle. So, for half a month, and we've averaged 9 hours with her. So we're not really using her tremendously, but that 9 hours are really important in us helping us out. But we feel that now we have this position filled, that we should be good to go going forward. All the positions are filled. Much better position than we were. And some folks have had some training that has been very helpful as well.
Ready. So the motion is to approve the interim agreement with PASBO for business offices services through September 30th of 2025. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any additional questions for Dr. Holtzman about this agreement?
9 hours a month or every 2 weeks?
That was every 2 weeks, sir. Yes, sir. You're correct.
Other questions? Ms. Truax, I'm sure she wishes to go into retirement, so. We will go ahead and move to a vote then. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All righty, now we have the water treatment team program agreement, Rochester Midland Corporation.
Yes, sir. This is just, it's another 5-year agreement with Rochester Midland. They provide basically the water treatment services for all of our equipment to make sure that it's operating correctly from a sanitary perspective as well.
So the motion is to approve the water treatment team program agreement with Rochester Midland Corporation from September 1, 2025 through August 31 of 2028 as presented.
Just a clarification, this is for potable water?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is for HVAC cooling towers and any of our water-based systems throughout our buildings.
Oh, okay.
So it does 2 things. One is it obviously keeps the equipment lasting longer, and 2 is it makes sure that the air handling systems are from a sanitary perspective.
Support.
Correct, right.
Meant there, I thought you were making your own water, all right.
No, no, sir. No, sir.
So is there a motion to approve this contract?
So moved.
There's second,
Second.
any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Down to item 8, the 2025 flu clinic.
Yes, sir.
I don't think school district should mention the word flu.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
called a clinic.
It's still pretty warm. So for the, yeah. Historically, we've offered an opportunity if anybody wants to come in and have, this is for employees only, to come in and do get a flu shot. And we've offered that for several years now. We're self-insured from an insurance perspective, so we're going to pay for this as a district, whether they do this somewhere else or they do it here with us. But it's more of a convenience factor at the end of the day. So we try to offer the clinic. We'll schedule that at a date where we think we can get support and get participation as well. I think in many years, it's actually been here in this room right here. So, but that's what we've done. So again, at the end of the day, we will pay for it one way or the other, being self-insured, but this just provides another opportunity for employees.
So the motion is to approve the 2025 flu clinic with WellSpan Medical Group for district employees covered by our medical plan. Is there a motion?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any additional questions for Dr. Holtzman? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move this forward for a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
I,
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain, conflict of interest.
Abstention there, motion carries. That'll bring us then to our financial business for this evening. Dr. Holtzman.
Yes, sir. We have nothing but requisitions and bills for payment for both general cafeteria fund. There are no assessment changes this time.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Is there a motion to approve the purchase orders and bills for payment?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any additional questions about the bills? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that'll bring us then to informational items and comments. So anything from our Clayton Cabinet team this evening?
I just wanted to share that starting in September, our high school student board reps will be joining us.
Very good.
I had a quick one. This year we did change over some of our software on the transportation side. And again, apologies, some of those transfers didn't go as smooth as we necessarily hoped. And the downside to this is that when you make a change and it's not correct, there's 40 families that all of a sudden say there's a problem. And you can imagine when they're calling in or sending emails, it's challenging to be responsive enough to be able to take all this. So our apologies for some of the problems and issues with that. I think we will be much better this coming year as things go forward, but again, every mistake is certainly expanded substantially because of that, unfortunately, but so.
Dr. Holtzman.
Thank you.
Anything else from our Clayton team? All right, from our school board, is there, or does anyone have any board member comments for this evening?
I just wanted to start by, thanking, Jeremy Preisler for his service to the district as a math teacher. Certainly every teacher that we lose is a loss. But he had a great service to the high school and I know he'll be missed. And then I have a question. Am I allowed to ask a question?
You can ask it, I can't vouch that we'll answer it.
It's not to you.
That's
It's
fine.
not to you.
Then if it's Dr. Sternstein, then yeah, but go ahead.
So I had a conversation with Kara Geisman a few months ago, and then somebody brought it up to me on our tax bills. Okay, it says that it gives you an option to pay early and get 2% discount, or you can pay monthly, or you can pay it all at once by December 31st. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but on the bottom, it says you can't write a personal check after December 15th. So if someone wants to pay their taxes after December 15th, they have to pay in cash.
They do have options with money orders
I was gonna say, I'm
and certified checks. I believe that the bank certified checks, I don't have the verbiage in front of me, but they do have other options that they certainly don't have to pay cash. They can do
It
If I
is-
remember correctly, it's a certified bank check or something along those lines and or a money order would suffice.
okay.
For that.
Is there, I mean, I understand, is that because of checks bounce or something like that?
It actually is, yeah. And so, no, it's a great question, Dr.
Collector's
Royer. Yeah.
responsible for it then.
So what ends up happening is, you know, individuals can come and pay all the way through December 31st,
Right.
of course, with the penalty. So if they pay and it's a personal check or a company check, and at that point, then what happens is the tax collector is basically fronting the money in a sense because it hasn't been fully went through the system yet and actually
Okay.
is a positive check. It makes it even more complicated because then that first week, the tax collector has to close the books with us and with the county. And so if it comes in and says that that payment is good and valid, everybody clears the books and we say, okay, we're good to go. If 3 or 4 days later, that's not the case, it becomes a problem because the county technically says, we're good. And the tax collector themselves could actually be at a loss for that check because the county has verified that the information is correct. We've received the money because the collector fronted that money.
I just didn't have a full understanding, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and it is a concern. I know we have a concern with some of our,
Eric's not a happy kid.
yeah, but it
She's
really
the tax
truly
collector.
does protect the
Yeah.
tax collector at the end of the day because of that.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
just thought of a question. I got asked the other Sunday when we were out at the stadium. The people that provided money, you know, like the stadium is Buchanan Automotive Stadium and the scoreboard is something else. I got asked a question by somebody that, do they continue to give money every year for upkeep, or was that just an initial investment to get that naming right? Now, I didn't know the answer to that.
So the naming right process was run through the Wayback Foundation.
Mhm.
So everyone who provided the donations over it could be up to 5 years.
Okay.
And so at this point, the donations have been received and were all essentially expended. So
Okay. It's not like an ongoing thing. where
no,
they
it was
provide
for,
money
it
every
was
year.
for a period of time.
Okay.
I think if it was until the Wayback Foundation was able to pay off our responsibility.
Okay,
I think the original was 1.575 million, and then
Okay.
the district did pay for the track. The interesting thing is that because we live in an incredibly generous community, we were able to reach and exceed that. So that's part of the reason the Waynesboro School District received a van from Buchanan Auto,
oh,
because we had some additional funding, and at
Okay.
that time we needed a van. So the
Okay.
really nice black van, that's a Pacifica,
It is.
Mhm.
Chris.
I believe it is,
Okay.
is
Okay. I
it's an
didn't know the answer
extension.
to the question.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
but sure, I mean, that was a Wayback Foundation capital campaign that
Right.
was community based.
Okay.
I will
So,
say in facilities, we are discussing the stadium lights. So if anyone wants a row of lights named after them, I'm happy to have that discussion in facilities. So
Are we on the verge of needing new stadium lights?
it's part of our facilities discussion. You should stay tuned at the third Tuesday in September where we can
Well,
talk
I will
about
be
it.
there.
So
Believe me, there will be no hamburger lines.
there will be I still, Mr. Hamburger, I want you to name a cafeteria. So welcome to the Wams Middle School Hamburger Cafeteria. Perfect. I think we're done for this evening. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
thank you.